Hello and welcome to Red Wolf Roundtable. I'm Jacob Cater. This is Kate and Marsh. Got a lot to talk about here today. Had some big wins, but also some losses this week.
Not a lot of positives.
Not a lot of positives, but we're going to find some to talk about today. Volleyball, a split series versus South Alabama. Basketball had a big comeback win over Missouri State. And then football, some questionable coaching and accountability issues, perhaps, for our football team that we'll talk about. We'll hit on that. Also looking forward to the sports going on next week here in Jonesboro. Got a big week coming up. So stay tuned here on Red Wolf Roundtable, and we will be right back.
I think one of the things I learned at Arkansas State was life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you respond to it, and that's just something that I live by.
A-State is home, and they're going to treat you like you're a part of the family.
Red Wolf Radio is a student-led organization at Arkansas State University wanting to hear your takes on pop culture, music, the news, and college life. Just about anything you can think of. Located in the Education and Communications building on campus, we are always looking for more volunteers. So if you're an Arkansas State University student, no matter the major, and this is something that interests you, shoot us an email at redwolfradio@astate.edu. That's redwolfradio@astate.edu. Let them hear you howl.
Welcome back as we are here to talk about some football that was less than stellar this week.
Very disappointing.
Very disappointing. A-State lost to Southern Mississippi 27-21.
We were talking about it. You want to go on your tangent now?
I don't know.
You want to save it?
We'll go ahead and just break
overview
down.
it?
We'll break down the game first. Defense looked decent. Defense has been doing a lot better in these football games here recently. The offense is where the question has been, especially this
absolutely.
game. Rayner threw, I believe, 4 interceptions. Lots of miscommunications. Lots of just errors on the offense.
It's been very slow over the past couple of weeks, and it's kind of surprising to say the least. Early on in the season, it was like the opposite. It was offense is static, and then the defense not so much. We had a lot of issues with the defense, and especially this game, it's kind of the other way around. Defense looked pretty good, not the greatest, but they looked good, and then the offense, like we were just saying, slow. We don't really have a run game. There were a lot of errors, a lot of mental errors, and the play calling just isn't aggressive enough, I guess, in a sense. This is a high-powered offense. You've got to attack them. This defense as well for Southern Miss is one of the best in the nation. And our offense just didn't look good.
6 turnovers for the Arkansas State Red Wolves this week, and you said that the defense for the Southern Miss team is very good, and that is not a lie. I believe they are in the top 10 in the nation in turnovers forced.
They're number 1,
They're
actually.
number 1 now. Okay, wow. Well,
They're number 1.
That explains a lot, but that's still no excuse for
No,
6
absolutely not.
turnovers in a single game. It's absolutely ridiculous. And, I mean, I guess I'll just get right into it. Where are the fans? Really, Butch? Like, the first thing that you say when you come out of the tunnel is, where are the fans? I would think that's not what you're supposed to be focusing on. I mean, yes, it's important for a great game day atmosphere in Jonesboro. Yes. But when you're rolling out mid-football teams that are, like, haven't been consistent all year, when you drop that game to ULM in one of the first conference games that we played this year, that lost a lot of people, okay? I'll go ahead and say this. Arkansas State fans are fair weather fans. All right, we had a lot of fans there when Blake Anderson was leading this team to Sun Belt championships every year, and it was great. It was great. But how many Sun Belt championships has Butch Jones won?
None.
That's why you can't be disappointed when the lack of fans in the stands doesn't add up to what you're expecting.
Yeah, and it was a good turnout too.
It was
in
the
my
second
opinion, it was a
biggest
good-
crowd of the season. Now, I know on national television it looked a little different because the cameras are up in the box and they're looking over onto the stands on the opposite side. Well, the opposite side at the top deck, there's not going to be anybody sitting up there because it's in the bald open sun in the middle of the day. Nobody's going to sit up there. Everybody was sitting down there below the press box, and it was a good crowd. Now, I will say, students, we do need you at games. I've been very disappointed at the turnout of students for these games. And I think Butch Jones is right to say that the students need to come out. But also, I think Butch Jones needs to take some accountability here for himself and say, hey, we haven't been putting out the product that the fans want to see. This isn't something that people are going to come out and watch. A 5-5 football team that's winning games and losing games left and right at an inconsistent rate.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, the student section, it was kind of bleak this week, and it was kind of disappointing, especially with it being an 11 o'clock game. But everything you said is correct. It points to how this team plays in the sense of, well, there's not a lot to be happy about, I guess, in a sense, as of late. How you beat SEMA week 1, and that was a good start, but then it kind of falls off there. And early on, conference play, ULM, you lose that game, and like you were saying, that's a huge fan loss. That's going to be a game that loses a bunch of fans. It's ULM.
Yeah.
It's not some high-powered conference opponent. It's ULM. So I think that kind of had some problems to do with the fan turnout. But overall, this was, like we were saying, a good fan turnout. It was the student section was kind of non-existent. But going back to the team, there was a lot of errors. Like we said, 5 interceptions? Mm-hmm. That's 5 too many. We had a fumble on a screen. That's 1 too many. So when you have 6 turnovers, it's going to be really hard to win a game. And the fact that we were this close, we were a touchdown away from beating Southern Miss and going number 1 in our conference, or at least in the West, I say. So, and especially with a team that has the Sun Belt Player of the Year in Braylon Braxton and probably a repeat in that same sense, and he's out for over half a game. The defense played well. They responded. Mm-hmm. The offense has to pick up, and we haven't been seeing that. So it's a disappointing loss. Was it expected to lose? Unfortunately, yes, but it could have been an upset, and it would have put us in a great position going forward.
Yeah, and of course there are other factors that played into the attendance at this game. It was the opening day of deer season, which is a much bigger deal than football season is here in the natural state, and so that had a big deal. But I really don't think that Arkansas State football, or really very many Arkansas State programs as a whole, has done very good at fan engagement across the state of Arkansas. Because, I mean, if you look up at the other corner of the state, you have fans in southeastern Arkansas. Where are the A-State fans at? Probably concentrated in the northeast, around the college. They're not spread throughout the state. Arkansas State needs to take some initiative here and capitalize, spend some money. I know we don't like to do that, but spend some money. Go out there into the community, into all of these communities in the state of Arkansas. If you want fans to show up at your sporting events, go out there and be with the fans.
So. Absolutely, but I guess kind of moving forward, we have Louisiana and App State to close off. It's a huge thing coming up against Louisiana. We have SportsCenter coming here, so it's going to be huge for the fans here and across the nation, I guess, hopefully. They see it as that way. But Louisiana is a high-powered offense. They have a very good quarterback that is mobile. That is a cause of concern for this defense, and they've responded very well as of late. So hopefully they can contain Mr. Lunch, Winfield, but then they play App State. So we have 2 chances to get 6 wins on the season, go bowling. I don't see why we can't go bowling this year. Yeah. App State is our final game. There is no reason we should lose that one. I have high hopes for Louisiana, but at least App State. So.
All right. We will be right back here on Red Wolf Roundtable to talk about some volleyball review and some basketball as well. So stay tuned and don't go anywhere. I think that was good.
ASU-TV, covering all your favorite sports. From Red Wolf Roundtable to Westside football and more, ASU-TV has you covered. Tune in now to ASU-TV for news and coverage on these sports and more.
Students should watch ASU-TV just to see the creativity that a college student can get. The creativity that some of these students have is truly amazing. Getting that experience can really just take you further, and I feel like our program does that for a lot of students.
Welcome back here on Red Wolf Roundtable as we get ready to talk about some volleyball and some basketball that happened this week. Starting off with the volleyball, a series at South Alabama. Split series, that was. Yep. 2 games, 1 game dropped, 1 game not. This was the second game. 3-0, 36 kills, 11 blocks, and a huge attack percentage compared to what South Alabama had. I love the adjustments that were made for this game by the A-State volleyball team. They really learned from the first game and made all those adjustments and came back stronger in the second game.
Absolutely. And I think they also learned from the past game last week. They had some problems with the middle attacks, the deep attacks, and in the second game against South Al couldn't do anything. There was nothing that Arkansas State wasn't doing that South Al they couldn't take advantage of Arkansas State. There was no deep attacks that were hit consistently for South Al. There was no cross-court attacks. The blocks were perfectly timed because that was kind of one of the issues in that first game was the syncing up the blocks for Arkansas State, and they did that very well the second game. Serving issues, big time for South Al, whether that be offense or defense. And Arkansas State really just took advantage of the errors that South Al had. And this shows you that even with a powerhouse like South Al is this year, we can blow these teams out of the water. We clinched the West with this win over South Al. I don't think we can beat out JMU. They have a better record and a better conference record than us. But it goes to show that Arkansas State and JMU are the 2 powerhouses for volleyball, and hopefully we get a matchup between them 2 in the tournament coming up here soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Do want to highlight Miss Devin Lewis, who had a phenomenal game in Game 2 against South Alabama. She had over a 500 on her hitting percentage, and 9 blocks, 2 assists, attack 56.3 attack percentage, and 10 points. So Devin Lewis having a great game. One lady that we haven't really highlighted this year.
This was another one of our attackers that we haven't talked about this year. We've talked about pretty much all of them, if I'm not mistaken. But once again, this was another game where you could have really pointed out anybody, and it would have been perfectly fine. Addison Colum did her thing, Deidreana Kale did her thing, Caitlin Mullock did her thing, and then all of our other positional players did their things in their respective positions. But Devin Lewis shined the brightest because of that attack percentage. And I think bottom line, the blocking, and we say it every week, the blocking at the point at the net is just unreal for this Arkansas State team. And it's really pushing us over the edge as we go through each and every game throughout the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, lots of adjustments, good adjustments made in that second game. Great job by the Arkansas State Lady Red Wolves on this big win with South Alabama. And we've got a big game coming up this weekend because we've only got 1 more series of games until the Sun Belt Tournament. So stay tuned here on Red Wolf Roundtable. We'll be right back to talk about some basketball.
I think one of the things I learned at Arkansas State was life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you respond to it, and that's just something that I live by.
A-State is home, and they're going to treat you like you're a part of the family.
Red Wolf Radio is a student-led organization at Arkansas State University wanting to hear your takes on pop culture, music, the news, and college life. Just about anything you can think of. Located in the Education and Communications building on campus, we are always looking for more volunteers. So if you're an Arkansas State University student, no matter the major, and this is something that interests you, shoot us an email at redwolfradio@astate.edu. That's redwolfradio@astate.edu. Let them hear you howl.
And we're back here on Red Wolf Roundtable as we talk about some women's basketball. Some mixed feelings about this week in women's and men's action.
Yeah.
Overtime road win at Charleston State, 87-77. A big overtime there for the Red Wolves as they really pulled away. 41 field goal percentage, 41.1%. 3-point percentage was 35.7%. And got out-rebounded on the boards. I think that's kind of something that we have not seen from either the men's or the women's is the paint play.
Yeah, we've talked about it before, and I think it was kind of early on. It was the fact that this Arkansas State women's team doesn't really have a lot of height compared to last year, and I think that's been showing in the rebounding numbers. I think overall this game, like you were saying, I'm iffy. I think the women's is having a brighter season as of so far than the men's, even though I think the records are the same. I could be wrong. Maybe they're
women's are 1-2.
1-2, and then 2-1. But one of the things that I wanted to point out, and I'm going to say it for both teams, is the defense. I love Coach Dez's playing style and the press and over-aggressive. I love it. But at some points, it gets exposed, and it gets exposed quite constantly, especially on the fast break when our defense gets outnumbered because of the fact that, well, they have more players on their side than we do, and it leaves the layups wide open. This Tarleton State game was a good bounce back against Ball State, but then you go to Mizzou, and one of the biggest aspects is points and paint. Mizzou outscored us in the paint, I believe, by almost 30 to 40 points. That's a huge deal. I understand we're a 3-point team, right? But that's a big deal, and it should be pointed out. Overall, I'm kind of iffy about both teams, but at least we saw a good bounce back in Tarleton State, and they got the win in overtime.
Highlighting some players from that Charleston State game, Marley Dickerson. We had 3 players, by the way, in that Charleston State game in double figures. Marley Dickerson with 10 points and 9 rebounds. Zion Shannon with 14 points and 8 rebounds. And the one we really want to highlight, Miss Chrislyn Rose, led the way with 26 points and 2 rebounds, having a 50% field goal percentage and 4 for 5 from 3-point land.
This is going to be a player that we talk about pretty much the whole year, and she's a candidate to be up on that TV every single week just because of the fact of what she does offensively. She is a insane player, insane playmaker, and I just love the way she plays. I'm glad that she's finally going through and using her ability because last year we didn't see it as much in the scoring aspect. It kind of picked up at the end of the year, but she's doing it early on this year, and it's helping them immensely.
Absolutely. Again, Chrislyn Rose getting it done on offense for the Lady Red Wolves. In the loss to Mizzou, of course, the 97-75 was the score. Wanted to highlight Zion Shannon. She had 26 points and 6 rebounds.
She had a game.
She had a great game. And another one off the bench, De'Ara Allen, who had 17 points and was 9 for 10 on free throws.
Yeah.
So we do have some studs on this team, and I think it's just taken a little bit for them to find their chemistry and find their stride. But I'm not too worried about it.
No, I don't think so in the long run. Get those pregame, get those early on losses out early in the season. But like you were saying, there's a lot of talent on this team. I just think, like you were also saying, the chemistry needs to build together because we haven't seen a lot of that. I think that the aggressiveness and the causing a lot of turnovers in every single game is one of the huge pluses about this Arkansas State roster. But lots of talent, lots of scoring possibilities. They just have to keep that efficiency up like they did in the Tarleton State game. And I think going forward, we won't have to worry about them as much, but it is a little concerning early on.
Moving on to the men's basketball team. Tough loss at Stephen F. Austin, 90-65. And again, I have highlighted on my sheet, no paint presence.
No.
There's really no paint presence for this team. We have a guy who's 7'3", but I mean, he's a little slow to get back. And That's where our issue is. The rebounds aren't falling. The shots aren't getting. We're not getting offensive rebounds. We're not getting putbacks. We don't have those second chance opportunities that we should have in the paint. And that's really what's killing us, and that's what's killed us in both games, even though the other one was a win.
Yeah, I want to start out with the Stephen F. Austin game. That one was abysmal, and when we're finished second in the Sun Belt, to lose in the manner that they did, that's very concerning. So there was not a lot of scoring. Offensively, there was a lot of inefficiencies. The three-point shot was miserable, very inefficient from the three-point shot. Defense, this zone's got to go. We're going to talk about it in the second game, but the zone's got to go. It's getting exposed all the time, whether it be off screens, the players doubling someone. Stephen F. Austin went almost 50% from three-point land. It's clear as day that they should have dropped the zone and moved the man for that reason, but they didn't. They didn't learn their lesson, and they continued with the zone defense, and it killed them. Other than that, like you said, no paint presence defensively. It seems like teams are being more aggressive than we are. They want it more. But overall, that first game against Stephen F. Austin, there is not a lot to say positively because, well, one of our players on that team, that game, Joey Chama, is now out.
Yeah, and I did want to highlight Joey. He did lead the team with 17 points, was 60% from field goal range, and he did come off the bench in that game.
That is a huge loss.
Big loss for the Red Wolves to lose him. He's out for a few weeks. Moving on to the Missouri State game, a big comeback win for the Red Wolves.
Yep. Another concerning game, I would say, because we were down 16 at one point, but they really picked it up in the second half. I think the three-point shot was falling a lot more. Not as much, but it was more than usual, that's for sure. But we had a face that kind of stuck out. And
yeah.
I'll let you introduce him.
Yeah, Chandler Jackson, who was a stud in this ball game, 33 points. And you was talking about the three-point shooting. This guy doesn't know how to miss. 100% from beyond the arc, 3 for 3, 10 for 11 on field goals, 10 for 12 on free throw attempts. And, I mean, you look at it, Chandler Jackson is that guy.
Yeah, that's what Joey Choma said. He put on a story yesterday. That guy, Chandler Jackson is. And it's going to make this offense a lot better than what it really is. But overall, really slow start for Arkansas State. Even with a 2-1 record, you do have some tough opponents coming up in St. Mary's. And
Little Rock's probably no slouch either.
I'm not too optimistic. Maybe it's just the lack of chemistry, like what we were talking about before.
And this is a whole new team. Yeah,
it's really concerning to see all the defensive breakdowns. The offensive efficiency just isn't there. And there's so many questions to be had everywhere, except for maybe Chandler Jackson.
Yeah. One thing I would like to see is maybe a little more ball movement. Be a little less selfish with the basketball and try to pass it in, pass it out, get the ball moving around. But anyway, that's my 2 cents. We'll be right back as we preview what's coming this week here in Jonesboro and for the Arkansas State Red Wolves. We've got a big weekend on campus. A triple header, and we'll get right to that after we come back.
ASU-TV, covering all your favorite sports. From Red Wolf Roundtable to West Side football and more, ASU-TV has you covered. Tune in now to ASU-TV for news and coverage on these sports and more.
Students should watch ASU-TV just to see the creativity that a college student can get. The creativity that some of these students have is truly amazing. Getting that experience can really just take you further, and I feel like our program does that for a lot of students.
welcome back for our final segment. We're going to take a look at what's to come this week for the Red Wolves. A big weekend on campus, like we said, a triple header. 3 games on Saturday. Big weekend at First National Bank Arena. It's going to be a very long day, especially for those people who have to work those games.
The production crew.
Yeah.
Feel bad for you guys.
So Friday and Saturday, Old Dominion comes to Jonesboro. Saturday at noon is that game. Looking forward to what these Lady Red Wolves can do against the Monarchs. You see, A-State outweighs them in just about every single statistical area that we've seen.
Yeah, there's really not much to say about this game. I feel like Arkansas State has a pretty clear-cut way of winning this, obviously the defense being that. Old Dominion has struggled all year long. They're 5-20 and 2-10 in conference, so this should be a win boost for Arkansas State. I don't think it'll affect seeding, considering JMU is, I believe, 2 to 3 games ahead of us. So even if JMU lost out, which they won't, it doesn't really matter. So it'll just get us prepped for the tournament. Overall, there's really, like I said, not much to say for this game. Arkansas State's been a powerhouse this whole year, and I don't see that stopping, especially it being the last home game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, Arkansas State, who did really well in the tournament last year,
Just missed out.
Yeah, I think they have a chance to catch fire. We've seen, their streaks of greatness. They've played some really complete games this year. I think, they pull it all together, and I'd say they make it to the championship game and play against James Madison.
Yeah, we lost to Texas State last year, and I think we swept them this year, if I'm not mistaken.
They've overcome the Texas State bug, I think. It's just James Madison is standing in the way, and I think Arkansas State is hungry to get to them.
Gotta love James Madison. You really do.
Yeah, gotta love JMU. Moving on to basketball at 4 o'clock on Saturday. This is the second game. Women's basketball hosts UALR. The Trojans come to First National Bank Arena.
It's going to be an exciting game for people in the state.
Yeah, I think it will be. UALR and A-State historic rivals. UALR used to be a Sun Belt member, and I think this team definitely looking for a big win here against the Trojans, and I think they can pull it out. UALR is no slouch. I think UALR is definitely going to come in with their biggest competition. I think we're looking for good crowds on Saturday as well. If you look, it's in-state, so there's obviously going to be a lot of UALR people there. It's not that far, 2 hours down the road. A-State fans are going to come out, support the women. It's on a Saturday. Nobody else is doing anything besides maybe deer hunting.
Yeah, football's not going.
Yeah, football's not here, so there's no football game for Bush Jones.
There's no excuse for not showing up.
Right. There's no excuse for Bush Jones to cry about fans not showing up. So men's basketball, we have Christian Brothers at 7 o'clock in the vault. So
I really hope this isn't a struggle. Missouri State was not supposed to be a struggle, and they struggled, to say the least, big time. This is Christian Brothers, guys. Please show some fight, because the game after is going to be go have fun.
Yeah. And if there's anything that I can say to the men's basketball team, and look at me in the eye when I say this, rebound the ball. That's what you need to do. Get somebody in the paint that's aggressive and rebound the dadgum ball. 2 hands. All right?
And do everything else, please.
Yeah, that
everything
too.
else.
But if you want second chance points is where we're lacking. Get an offensive rebound and put it back up and put it in.
Let's not go 1 for 12 from 3 and then 2 for 17 from 3.
Yeah.
I really hope to not see that.
Let's not do that again.
Chandler Jackson, keep doing your thing, man.
Oh yeah, keep
really
balling.
Appreciate you.
Keep balling.
Really appreciate you. Joey Chamba, I hope to see you there. It's sad to see you not playing, but I hope to see you there, at least.
All right, well,
spirit.
Since we don't have any football this week, that's it for us here on Red Wolf Roundtable. Thank you for watching. Come back next week. We'll review all these games we just talked about and talk about some more coming up, hopefully a volleyball tournament and some more basketball.
Hopefully a lot of wins, too.
Hopefully a lot of wins. We'll see you later. Good night.